So we have a couple of your messages. Are they ready?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'll quickly
and then we'll have to look at what the stories there are, front, back pages of the newspapers. We have to start with the Daily Graphic. I always like to start with the Daily Graphic. And on the front page it says, I killed girl 7 and had sex with body. Man 22 confesses. The story is on page 3 of the paper. And then we also have, let's review equal coverage policy. The MMC chairman seemed to be saying, and that's Kwesi Jarapinting. The Human Rights Project dead. All the talk we have about resuscitating local rice production, etc. The project is dead. We don't seem to amaze each other. Work resumes on the Bream River Bridge Rehabilitation Project, and those stories are there. Front back pages of the newspapers. You want to read a lot more, you could get also onto the page and get to know what really is happening. But we also have the front page of the Daily Guide. But before we do the Daily Guide, let me do the Ghanaian Times. NDC NPP exchange fire over facts on economy. We won't yield to demands from Labour. And up there we have rape victim arrested for biting fireman's penis. And you know, it's become a subject of discussion even on the AM show, and yesterday we thoroughly looked at that. And we said sorry for the gentleman, but next time don't do the things that you have to do if it is true, allegedly. Ghana to produce 300 cubic feet gas by 2018. Shouldn't have been million cubic feet. Yeah, they missed it. Health researchers brainstorm. There should also be health researchers brainstorm. Proofreading on the back page of the Ghanaian Times was not done well yesterday at all before press. Not at all.
All right, front page of the Daily Guide. Funds smuggled to Ankafo prisons. Sassovan catches fire. And we have that video on myjoyonline.com. I'm not bribing voters. That's according to President Mahama. GCB board chairman hot. And center spread of the Daily Guide. The News One, Ejako meets Nanado. Well, we know that he's on some form of a project to get Nanado into power, to support him. And well, it comes along with some photos over there. And I am not a prostitute, actress Kisa Beckley. And Stage J, after receiving his award, Stage J has been honored. That's it for today's edition of the Daily Guide. Roland?
Stage A. Let's look at the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. EC's flashpoint, constituencies, more details. It's on the back page as well of the paper. And then President Mahama's address at the UN General Assembly, and the man Kwame Sefakan giving all the details there. We also have the Weekend Finder. It says that apparently nearly 10,000 are killed in road accident during election years. That's the estimation. But it's as serious as it can get, especially when we know that most of the cars, or most of these deaths, okay, we have, are also caused by broken down or disabled vehicles on the roads. Indeed, such broken down and disabled vehicles on the roads account for 22% of some of these deaths annually. So you can imagine.
Very preventable.
Yes. If they're there, we just have to tow them to a towing area or something like that. And that's why we need to make sure that we implement us in the road traffic at the National Towing Project. We hope that will come to fruition. Being spearheaded by the National Road Safety Commission as it is.
All right, let's do the Today newspaper and the Daily Statesman. Front page of the Today newspaper, GCB board chair runs for cover, and 4.717 billion Ghana cedi road sector money wasted. And it comes along with a photo of the Transport Minister Fifi Kwete. Nungua Paramount Chief warns imposters. Nurses raise red flag over move to use NDC foot soldiers as health workers. Back page, please ladies battle fabulous ladies. Daniela Mate Bogba set for midfield battle, and Messi out for 3 weeks. The Daily Statesman front page. Support us to win December polls. Akufo-Addo appeals to Obom residents. Mahama is in a symbiotic relationship with corruption. That's according to the Daily Statesman. I'm sure it's an article. It's on the page 4. It's on page 4 of this edition of the Daily Statesman. Trainee nurses and midwives demonstrate over allowances, and NDC urges Mahama to share more cash for votes. Ghana's Roads Network, NPP under Kufuor added 10% annually, but NDC under Mahama adds 0.8% annually. And the earlier story about the NDC urges Mahama to share more cash for votes comes along with the photo of Chief of Staff Julius Deborah and the NDC campaign coordinator Kofi Adams. Roland.
All right, so we have the last paper, I believe, the last paper.
Sure.
Front page of the Business and Financial Times has the main story. Government argues banks into oil and gas funding. Share butter export reaches apparently $64 million US. We could do a lot more than we're doing, I believe, but its planting is still seen as taboo. ICT sector records double-digit growth, because currently we really don't plant a lot more of the share now. We just go to the trees that grow in the almost savanna-like regions of the north and just go and pick. But if we consistently and consciously grow them as the way we invest in other arable agricultural crops, then we know that we're really in for business. Back page of the Business and Financial Times, GSOP usage of eSwitch soars, and GSOP is the Ghana Social Opportunity Project. We also have Jubilee Partners refurbishing Archbishop Porter Science Lab, and it's located in Takrady. GASEM QLA finalist fine-tune project for submission, upbeat on winning global award. Those are the stories we have from back page of the Business and Financial Times. But right now we have a couple of your messages.
Yes, and I'm going to take a couple of them right now. Roland, there's a question for you, and before I get to that, this one says, I was taking my breakfast when I saw your news items where these children are crying because of food and other things they lack. He sighs and says, I feel so sad this morning and I couldn't continue my breakfast just to share the pain in the starvation.
Yes, so this is what you can do. Anybody who is tagged by the story, please make sure you get to our page on Facebook, Journeys on TV. We have all the details there. And I think that we have to make sure we put it on the screens as well. And we'll try and get the details and put them on the screens before the close of the morning session, our session this morning. And we'll pull out the story and play again in between, so that we put the details out there. I think that's the most appropriate thing to do.
Yes, exactly. So yes, I agree with you, Roland. But this is from Akoto in Tamale. He says, how's your studio wife, Mama V, doing?
She's okay. She's on leave. Yeah.
Yes, and this one is again.
But I equally have just like Africa, Charlie, we can marry traditionalists. We can marry 1, 2, 3, and so if you're a Muslim up to 4. If you're a traditionalist, you go to Africa. So I've got my second wife.
Someone else
equally good.
All right, I'm sure this has answered your question.
And endowed with competence and all that.
Okay, so, thank you.
We don't have it. You're welcome.
I appreciate.
You're welcome.
Okay, and he says that another person says he misses your combination with Mama V.
Yeah, I love this combination too. So try and get used to this one too.
This one says, "Good morning, Bernice and Roland. Okay, you want to know when the pilgrims are coming back? We'll get you.
I think that already we've had the first batch touching down in Tamale Airport. So.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, all right. Someone already before you mentioned that I'm your new studio wife. Someone said,
yeah.
Good morning, Roland.
I tend to love
Good morning, Roland, and your new wife. Okay.
Good morning, my dear.
Nelson in Koforidua.
Oh, Nelson.
Okay, so you're asking how you can contact the Bedu family, and you're weeping and your heart is bleeding.
So this is what we'll do. We'll play the story twice, and so in between the breaks for the program transition, we'll do that. And this time we promise you, we'll put the details as we've put on our Facebook page or if you want to contribute to them, the bank account, etc. You know, for many of those people who live in the rural communities, they do not need a lot more than you think. You can pay if you want to as part of your tithe or
your gift to humanity.
Yes, or maybe something. You have to sow a seed into their family, so to speak.
Preach, brother.
Current Latter-day Saint Christians sow a seed into their lives, so you can pay for the annual school fees. So if you're in Accra and thinking that is that type of school fees that you pay in the private school, it's not. It's RC school. So you can pay for the school fees for at least, they have 4 children. So at least you can pay for 1 or somebody else will pay for 2 because we have many viewers. So you can pay for the school fee for the whole year or for the next 5 years if you can. There's nothing wrong with it. Somebody also can do for the attire for the school. So each of them now will have to have an attire. If you have two for each for the whole week, it's not bad.
Yeah.
If you can sew for only one, two, not bad. But they have 4 children, and then also the mother who is now taking care of the family because the husband is dead would need some something for.
Yeah,
yes, because she's a farmer, so basically less so, and she owes some debtors. So if you can clear the debt, it's not much. Sometimes you think it's not much. So
yeah. Yes, and this one is from Aluta, your friend in Garo. He says hi.
Hi.
And this one says, I'm very surprised.
He doesn't have a long message. He usually has a long message.
He just said hi.
Okay.
All right. Okay. This one says, I'm very surprised that the only time politicians say good things about each other is when they are dead. Question: if the person was bad when alive, how is it that all of a sudden they turn good when they die? I took 1 minute secondly. Well, we'll come back to pick a couple more of the messages, but let's get on to myjoyonline.com, and the story almost all of you are talking about is there. It's a video, moving story of how a family shares one school uniform due to.
And we have to say this story was done by a sweet lady we have.
Yes.
I think taller than me. Dorcas Bedu, who went to visit the Bedu family. All right, so we have to look at some of the stories.
Yes, give Mahama 100 years, he would be unable to do the work. That's according to the NPP's flag bearer, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Visionless NPP sees debt. We see investments, Fifi Kwete. Well, that was in a response to the lecture given by the NPP's running mate, Dr. Bawumia. Excuse that NDC received more resources than NPP, he says, lazy, laughable. And Mahama, other politicians who use their favorite song lyrics to make a point, he quoted Michael Jackson, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me.
Wow.
And so, yeah, there is this
I remember when that album came, I went to get the cassettes.
Yeah. Cassettes, yeah. It tells you how long ago it was.
Yeah, that was 1993.
Some of you may not know what
it was on the Dangerous album. I'll never forget. I loved Michael Jackson to the rafters. Yes.
So that's what that story is about, and how other world leaders have used lyrics of famous songs. Let's do this one. Ghana ranked 72nd on World Economic Freedom ranking, and how a small town Massachusetts girl became Facebook's first lady.
We are referring to Mark Zuckerberg's wife. All right. They have a son.
Yes.
Okay.
A son or a daughter? I'm not too sure, but I know they have one child. U.S. visas. What can I do if my DV lottery visa is refused? Okay, so for those of you who are interested in going to the U.S. and have some questions, you may just want to get that.
And then we have that story, the moving story of how a family shares one school uniform throughout the week, if not throughout the year. All right, so let's go to CTFM
Online. NDC manifesto promises not budgeted for, and that's according to Samuel Okujetu Ablakwa. Mahama shared NDC paraphernalia, not money. Kofi Adams and Ghana, was cocaine hub under Kufuor. Fifi Kwete is saying that. And we've managed economy better than NPP. That's according to the NDC. There's a lot more political stories. Chief of Staff denies ordering cessation of ECG privatization and all that. Let's go to the
Africa page of the BBC.
New elephant protection could backfire. Hundreds dead off Egypt coast, and
so now they are not using the coast of Libya. They're going through Egypt.
Trying other means. Yeah.
Wow.
When you block
through the Mediterranean, and then they get to
when you block
that side of Europe.
They'll find another way to get there. Africa highlights Uganda gay pride warning. Nigeria hands down tax dodgers. Plea to UN to mediate over Chibok girls, and Sierra Leone frees woman accused of FGM.
FGM is
female genital mutilation.
Female genital mutilation.
Yeah.
Not a very good thing. All right, so those are the stories we have. But again, in between, or when we're transitioning into the other segment of the show, we'll be showing you at least 2 times before we bring the session to a close this morning. That very moving story put together by our sweet lady Dorcas Bedu, who went to visit the Bedu family in the community in the Ashanti region, in which they share school uniforms I've been doing that for the last 1 year or so. All right, it's a very moving story, but we've put it on our Facebook page, Join Us on TV, and it's also on myjoyonline.com. But we'll play that story. We'll also be putting on the screens the account numbers by which you can also donate to the family. And I keep saying that it's a family of 4, at least 2 or 3 of them are very much active. Miss Bedu herself, Mrs. Bedu herself is a farmer, but has some small debt. In rural community, when they are saying debt, it's a crank it's just small money.
Your tree is coming this morning.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're taking a break. When we come, a Benedict also.